yeah, he cut him off because
we're gonna get to it, man. We just damn, man, hold your horse. We gotta do the intro first. First things first. Happy New Year, everybody. We back. Couple days off. I know y'all needed the time. Make y'all resolutions to just give up on your resolutions, because we already know you done ate the cake that you said you weren't gonna eat. We got tired of eating, cooking at home, so we came up, got bored, back on it again. I bought all three of these folks back. They said they got some things to get out their chest. You got my guy Smokey, top right. We also call him Kevin, with the black tee, of course. Send me my dollar decks. Curtis White with the left. What's on your shirt, Kurt? Sorry, I put your whole name out there. Hold on. We got also Kurt, aka what's your nickname? You still don't know your nickname.
Send nudes.
We gonna call him Essen, cause he sending nudes to you. And we got your boy Sanitation taking out the garbage decks. That's why he's on the bottom this time. He a bottom this time. Put him on the bottom. You know what that mean. So we got a lot of things we want to talk about. We want to address two main topics. We're gonna talk mainly about sports today, because the new year, we want to be cheery, but it's already starting off dreary. Hot topic. Your boy Skip Bayless in the hot seat. Look at him in the chair right there. Y'all can't see it, but he in the hot seat right now, staring at the camera. He know he done messed up. He done messed up. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about what he did, and was it deserving of the backlash. So shoot, you want when we read the tweet first, so everybody caught up?
Please go ahead. Just read it.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, good.
First off, I'm AJ. So context, our thoughts and prayers goes out to Hamlin. He's still in the hospital now, recovering from apparently cardiac arrest. The latest update on him is he did have a second episode of cardiac arrest, but they did revive him. They're taking it day by day. He went from 100% oxygen down to now only needing 50% oxygen. So it is an improvement, but it's still far from out of the woods, still in intensive care. So the main purpose of this is he was injured in the middle of a play. Less than 4 minutes into the first quarter, probably 5 minutes into it, as a corner or safety. I don't know his position, but he was stopping the receiver. He gets a tackle about neckline, chest. Seemed like an ordinary hit. Hits the ground, pops back up, but 2 steps later, he falls down, he passes out. His heart pretty much stopped. They had to give him CPR on the field. It was like 10 minutes of complete silence. Nobody knew what was going on. The game was postponed, then canceled. Was postponed, then canceled, and they have no idea if the game's gonna be played again. But throughout all this, Skip Bayless was tweeting. This particular tweet of many tweets was the one that struck a chord with social media, and everybody's calling for him to get canceled now. He wrote, "No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of the game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant." Now that's how I read it.
That's what it says. Yeah.
I'll let the panel talk about it. So there's two different camps. Some people said that's a heartfelt tweet, probably lengthy, but he's coming from the right intentions. No harm, no foul. We don't understand the outrage. Other side is saying he's inconsiderate, he's soulless. Cancel this man. I didn't like this man anyway. Shannon should beat his ass. I've seen so many comments about this, but I honestly, I'll give my take after. I'll let y'all speak, because people tell me I talk too much. Time to listen.
Well, yeah, I'll give a short synopsis of it. I saw the other tweets. That tweet was just magnified because he minimalized the initial incident. And when I say that, because he focused on the game, the regular season, the playoff pretension, and all the stuff like that. But then went back to, oh yeah, but none of that matters. If it never really mattered, you should have never brought it up. Like, we're talking about this right here, right now. So that other stuff shouldn't have been brought up. That's why I say, not a fan of the tweet.
Sanitation, was that a trash take? Because you know all about that trash. What you think?
It's a good take, and it's just another perception that we see as everybody come across. I took it as he was basically telling what, thinking it out loud what everybody else was probably thinking, as in the game usually normally goes on after the player gets injured. We see injuries all the time, and the game continues to move on. But he said, based off of this magnitude of injury, how can we even think about still playing the game at this point, when he especially that last sentence. So he's saying, yeah, this game was hyped up. It had playoff results in the contention of it. And then, but at the end of the day, none of that should actually matter. We should just be focusing on the individual that plays the game.
So you brought up some context because you were referencing a previous tweet. So now that you brought it up, because I ain't bring it up, I just want to know if everyone else saw the previous tweets before. Let's go back down to what he's saying. Right, I think you're talking about. So this is probably when it started happening here. So this is an order of earliest to older, right? Newer to older. So this is when it happened. Not sure what happened to Damar Hamlin. Players on both teams are shaken. Ambulance on the field. CPR administered. Can't remember a play being stopped for this length of time. Just said a prayer for him and his family. Then the next thing he says, I've seen so many horrific injuries suffered on the football field, yet never have I seen a reaction like this. In every other situation I witnessed or covered, the game always went on fairly quickly. The attitude was, hey, that's football. For these players, this particular hit, and I'm adding words, this was different. And then the tweet that got him fired, bro. Like 164.6 million interactions of all the different tweets. So let's just look at the numbers. 8 million, 10 million, but that tweet struck a chord. 164 million interactions. And then after he saw that there was a lot of interactions, he followed up, nothing is more important than this young man's health. That was the point of my last tweet. I'm sorry if that was misunderstood, but his health is all that matters. Again, everything else is irrelevant. I prayed for him and will continue to. So I think that's the part where it was missed out. Everything else is irrelevant. So he should have led with that. I agree. He probably should have led with that because he put it at the end. You gotta understand, 140 characters. We still got a short attention span. I don't already forgot y'all's names. Oh, speaking of, what's that dude above you, Dex? Smokey, what you think about it, man?
Yo, what's up? So I've always said this. Skip Bayless has been a professional journalist for a very long time. And so he knows that he can't really leave space for interpretation when it comes to important issues like this. Yes, he has 140 characters in the tweet, but he can always use more than one tweet. We've seen tweet threads before. And so for him to put in the ... which suddenly seemed so irrelevant, some people took it as he was putting more emphasis on the game than he was what actually happened. Mm-hmm. And even in that first tweet, when he was talking about, hey, the players reacted differently, he didn't say what happened today was different. So that last tweet, it sort of summed up everything and let him know that his perspective was correct. But he's been such a controversial journalist for so long, almost like a shock personality, that he should have known that some people would have took his words and went left with it.
Mm-hmm. So I 100% agree in regards to being a shock jock entertainment personality. He is probably more than likely paid to kind of have an opposite opinion of his co-anchor to make it more interesting. Him and Shannon, besides this, are a great combo. They are such a dynamic duo personalities, yin and yang. You know, okay, black and white, I guess that's an obvious too, but professional player versus analyst, you know what I mean? You have different takes on the same game that they love to watch. You know, say what you will, before this, I think it was a great show. Afterwards, we'll see how that turns out. We'll talk about how Shannon reacted to it, but we look at what Skip said. I also think, just from wording, he does that a lot. The problem with Twitter, and this is just speaking on Twitter, since you're limited by characters, everybody wants to come off as a philosopher. You know what I mean? And like who can come up with the most haiku sounding type of poetic tweet in 140 characters? Everybody has the same limitation, but who can say the most with the least? And Skip, that's what messed him up. He was trying to say too much with the least, but like you said, probably the optics is he probably should have just led with short and sweet, because he not just that tweet that he went off. Well, he went off with 164 interactions. Look at the one right before it. He leads with a story. I've seen so many horrific injuries, but I've never seen a reaction like this. He's making how big this one was different. In every other situation, they just went on and kept playing. The attitude was, hey, that's football. People get hit, people get injured. You know, clap when they come off the field, all right. But then he tells, but for these players, he wants to bring attention to this specific moment. These players, this hit was different. Maybe not for him, but he just highlight. That's just how he story tells. Same thing. Next post, look. No doubt the NFL is considering, because they were talking about it. You know, how is this going to impact the game? Are they going to postpone? They didn't know if they're going to cancel. They didn't know yet. It was still up in the air. It was happening in live time. He wants to bring up the magnitude of how unprecedented this was, but then he ends it with suddenly seems so irrelevant. He's just trying to be poetic. Where Kevin go? He done disappeared from the screen. I see myself twice. There you go. You can't do that to me, Kev. I need you. But I can understand how in a vacuum that tweet by itself, if all the words weren't there and you just out of quick reaction, we can take. I get how you got that first reaction, but after reading all of it and just taking some time to process it, I'm like, nah, I don't think Skip meant that in a bad place. So to call to cancel him, I feel like that's just going crazy. I think that comes back from people's previous hate for Skip, rightfully so. And I've said this many times, I don't really care for Skip because this man thought Manny Pacquiao beat Floyd Mayweather. And I knew they paid that man to say that. You can look at the interview when they got to his face. They're like, Skip, what do you think? You think Floyd won that hands down? He had to bite his lip, take a deep breath before he spit out that lie. Because that's just what they pay. They got to have somebody have the other belief to make it more entertaining.
I have a predetermined notion about this guy. He always says something stupid. And then hers was just another case of stupid. So, again, it's not that, because he like I said before, what he did was he said, okay, look, y'all, prayer hands, hey, I this different. Now that I got that out the way, what are we gonna do about the regular season? What are we gonna do about playoffs?
Yeah.
Like that's what it.
I can get.
So that's why I have an issue.
Yeah, I can get how that could have been taken by itself, but he immediately followed up and said, "Sorry for the misunderstanding. Nothing's more important in this man's life. The game don't matter." You see what I'm saying? So that's why
a lot of people talk too much. Say less. You say more with saying less. So
it's true.
Like how many players had a whole tweet thread of this situation? So most people did prayer hands. And move on.
It's funny you said the words. I didn't say it. Most people can say more with saying less. Remember what Kyrie said? He didn't say a damn thing. All he did was share a link or a picture of a movie, and he damn near got canceled. he didn't say I condone this movie. I believe in the script. I wish I could have been in it. He just shared the movie. He could have been like, I'm sharing this so people don't watch it. But you don't know what he said. He didn't say nothing. But I felt it was the way he responded after the fact. His team tried to talk to him. He was unapologetic. He didn't want to do no sensitivity training. He was just like, man, y'all can't do nothing. Then Nike dropped him. When the money stopped flowing and then people started protesting, then he just said, oh, maybe I need to chill. So Skip probably gonna have that moment too. Maybe he's gonna have a moment where it goes, hey, whether he feels that he did anything wrong or not, people got hurt. He ain't trying to hurt nobody. He wants to put the focus on this man's health. It shouldn't be about him. But at the same time, I feel like social media, public opinion, everybody getting canceled early. And I've said this many times. We is not trying to get canceled. We just passing the time. We bored. This man got a noodle shirt on his chest. It's noodles.
So I also that leads to a good segue because
who should get canceled? Who should get canceled?
Mr. White, like you said, he had preconceived notions, but who should get canceled and who actually took down and deleted their Twitter account was an ESPN analyst on Twitter that said, "Hey NFL, let's continue this game. You don't see games paused with other injuries. Bills, Bengals, I got a parlay to win." And that was by Leonardo Pagnotti Jr. So he actually went out and said, with how y'all kind of some people reacted to Skip's tweet. No, he went out and blatantly say, hey, freak this. I don't care about that player. I got money to win on this game. So let's continue to play this game. And I feel like just because he's not a real high up on the food chain type of person, nobody knew who he was. He went under the table. He did issue an apology, a tweet, but nobody knew who he was. So he able to skate since Skip getting all the backlash. And this man over here skating on ice.
My mic. This man loud as hell. I had to turn his ass down. Nah, but look, but I here's the thing. We got to stop doing that. We got to hold people accountable for their own actions. We can't be. But what about this guy? That dude, rightfully, that his whole Twitter deleted right now. His account, it says account doesn't exist, as it should. So we all agree what he said was off the wall, wrong dude. He should get fired, and it'd be his own fault because he doubled down. He didn't just say on with the game, but he's talking about money now. He got a parlay on it. That's way out of character, out of touch compared to what Skip did though. That's child's play,
So question, with the guy, his Twitter being deleted, did he delete it or did he get his account to delete it.
I think he left for the safety of his own ego. Because this doesn't say suspended. Let me see. Yeah, he deleted it. He deleted it altogether.
Yeah, so he's hiding basically.
Yeah, he hiding. Yeah.
Yeah, that man is hiding right there. And I hate when people do this. Like when they see one person do something wrong or perceived wrong, and they go, "Oh, well, we didn't get everybody else."
It doesn't address the issue. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and go after things of that nature. And as you can see, people, of course, went after him because that dude deleted his account.
And let me rephrase. Kyrie did not deserve to get canceled. It was all about timing. What he did was wrong. I'm glad he took some time to learn about why it was insensitive, and he should have apologized sooner. But it was all about timing. He did that too soon after Kanye went on that tirade, and Kanye still ain't apologized, and I don't think he ever will.
We ain't seen Kanye since.
Yeah, Kanye missing for real. He is literally missing. I don't think people know where he at. But that's probably by design. He's probably just laying low. Hopefully, he's just laying low. But what are you saying, Smokey Kevin?
Oh no, I was done with that comment. I said it came through. He went ahead and had to clear up his miscommunication, which he did in what was it, like an hour or two?
Yeah.
So it didn't take long for him to come back and be like, "Oh yeah, let me go ahead and reword this so people know what's really important." And this other dude, his account's been deleted for a couple of days now. So
yeah, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. He done. He ain't twittering no more. The only thing he twittering his thumbs, hoping them checks still keep coming from ESPN. He's like this right now. But but I mean, but my point is I think at some point we as society, we got to learn to actually practice forgiveness. I'm not saying forgiveness, right? Because Skip, albeit he be saying some off the wall stuff. I feel like he hate on LeBron way too much. It's like an obsession. But at the same time, when it comes to being a human being and actually caring about people's lives, I don't think he the kind of person to just be like what the other guy did, talking about I'm more worried about my parlay. Skip, let's be real. Skip an old man. I would hate for him to go out this way and then die the next year, because he actually contributed a lot to sports media. You know what I mean? Look at that man. I'm not saying have pity because he old, but eventually all of us gonna be old one day. We're gonna be on the wrong side of public opinion. You know what I mean? The only way we can get on the right side is to be educated and to learn through it. And one last part on this. So his co-anchor, Shannon Sharp, on his first day after the tweet, he didn't even show up for work. He said he didn't even want to be in the same room as Skip. Then the next day he came on through and he had some shit to say off his chest. I ain't gonna show the clip because I ain't trying to get this shit demonetized, even though I ain't making no money. But in so many words, I guess from what I saw, Shannon was like, this is what you did, and I need you to take down that tweet, or not. I need you. I wish you would just take it down to show you how insensitive it was. Basically, telling Skip. How did he phrase it? He basically told Skip, you need to take it down, and then Skip interrupted, said, hey, hold on now, I'm not gonna take it down. I stand by what I said. And then Shannon went off with him for cutting him off, and then they just kind of the show didn't end on a really positive highlight. And I don't know where Kevin went, but I'm seeing myself twice because my opinion is valued twice as much. Anyways, all right, I'll cut that out. But
that's the worst. But anyways, all day.
But my point is so Shannon was basically said, what? I mean, I'll let one of y'all talk about it. But essentially,
I was watching it live, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Shannon already had it," just because weeks prior, Skip already came at him about being old and retired, and while Tom Brady's still playing, and didn't apologize for that. So Shannon was waiting for another opportunity to go on, and then he get in the middle of that too. You like, it's only been like 2 weeks since you said something so rude, and then.
Yeah,
and you come out with my monologue. It's like, it's like, bro,
the camera sheet's done.
We need to terminate our contracts at this point. I'm ready to go because I can't have no.
Well, to play devil's advocate, not just for Skip, but any person that wasn't an athlete in the game, that's just an analyst, that's just an anchor. Like they get criticized all the time. Like, well, if you so good at criticizing my game, how about you put on some cleats? How about you put on some pads and join the field? You know, that's like that's not really a constructive argument, because it's like, no, I mean, there's only so many players. But just cause I'm not a professional race car driver, I can tell you, if, hey man, he should have refilled his gas tank before he got on the track. And that's why he ran out of gas. You know, I could, you know, if you can figure out things that you can criticize without having to be a professional at it, you know.
No, I actually agree with that 100%, because a lot of people will do that whole, like, you know, you ain't never walked a day in my shoes, but I analyzed you. I watched you. I watched your steps. I watched how you moved. And I've seen other people who move like you and instead of you taking 10 steps to get to here, I seen them take 7 and 6 steps. So I seen ways to do it better. So like I'm not against analysts, you know, but sometimes some people will say some foolish stuff and they will criticize people at an extreme rate. Kind of like how Skip did with Shannon Sharp. You know, you only did that, blah, 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 blah. You did that in the third. You only did this many years. Well, that's why you're retired now. You only got 3 rings. You know, Tom Brady has this many. It's like, bro, like, are you serious? So
in the end, sports really don't matter. Skip said it. It's all irrelevant. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's just sports.
I'm like, you may call it that it's just sports, but one of the other things about it is, in the world of journalism, in the world of entertainment, you cannot cut off people's monologues. You know that you should give people like they full length of time to get their words out for them to be able to say what needs to be said. So
I also tempted to cut you off. But I was
what I'm saying, man? Keep doing that. Let me go ahead and get these words out.
Make him his own site.
Shannon being upset.
Yeah. But
I agree with that, Kevin. But at the same time, I think, like, again, less is more. Some people will say take 5 minutes to say what could have said in a minute and 30 seconds, and they'll repeat themselves. They'll talk in circles, and it's just like it's to the point where, like, come on, let's wrap it up, people. So sometimes we only got an hour-long show.
Yeah, some people dig themselves a grave, and other people dig themselves out of a grave. It just depends. But I don't think Skip's heart was in the wrong place. But I admit he probably could have said less and have been fine. But at the same time, it's like, in the end, we arguing about Skip, his old ass with them fake Jordans. I know them Jordans ain't fake, but I'm just gonna be hating from the sidelines. You know, with them fake chains. You know, they try to Gucci him up, try to put him off and pass him on to say he's hip now. End of the day, y'all remember, he was born in a different generation. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they say stuff, they mean well, but it don't come off right because they don't have that sensitivity training that we grew up with. We had to learn in our generation to be more sensitive to others because we saw how it actually affected our peers. Think about our generation. All the time we had to fear for our lives for going to high school. High school shootings popped off when we was in middle school. That's when they all started popping off. You know, Jonesboro, Columbine, all that. We was in middle school when that happened. And then you got teens all the time committing suicide. High schoolers, you know, you got to be bullying. Cyberbullying is even worse today. You know what I mean? So to me, it's kind of like we are more understanding of how fragile life is, and regardless of what people say, they say sticks and stones. They grew up in a generation where they say sticks and stones ain't gonna hurt their bones, right? But in actuality, so they grew. Think about it. They grew up in a generation where they came up with the phrase sticks and stones. Versus us, you know, we don't really say that much anymore because we know words can actually hurt somebody. Whether you call people snowflakes or whatever, that's what they coined that term too against us. So that's why they are quick to that generation. That's just what it is. They just quick to not hold a filter. Because I kind of just feel like they just feel I might be the same way when I get older. The older you get, you stop caring. You stop caring what people think. You really don't care no more. You know what I mean? So not saying it's right, but you kind of got to understand like where his impression is. And Skip still got money. I don't think he gonna get fired. Fox Sports is struggling as is to find good quality entertainment to compete with ESPN and TMZ, all these other cats. Let's move on to talk about something else. It's, you know, instead of watching Shannon potentially murder Skip, because we already know Skip ain't gonna win that fight. What do y'all think about some other fighters? Dana White slapping his wife. Good
Lord.
So what are the context of this slap?
Let's just read it out together. Dana White and his wife got physical with each other on New Year's Eve, stunning onlookers at a crowded Cabo San Lucas nightclub. Dana says regretfully fueled by booze. The UFC honcho and Ian White, who's been married for 26 years, was celebrating Saturday night with friends at El Squid Row, which I walked by. Took a turn shortly after they all welcomed 2023 together. So they were drunk, very obvious. A lot of people drink on New Year's, no big deal. They were in a VIP area above the dance floor when Dana leaned over to say something to his wife, Ann. She reacted by slapping him across the face. Dan immediately slapped her back in the face before friends jumped in and pulled them apart, and it was all played out in plain view of patrons down below. So eyewitnesses say they seemed heavily intoxicated prior to the incident, and the video seems to bear that out. Things went from 0 to 100 in an instant, seemingly for no reason. Further, we were told the conflict was all over in less than a minute. And Dana White has gone on to apologize, says inexcusable for his behavior. But this topic just kind of brings up the idea of what is considered appropriate. Like, for some reason, Dana is getting a lot of backlash as a man for hitting a woman, but seems to be not much backlash for the fact that his wife slapped him first. And I'm not, like I said, they resolve it. They're going to work it out. They're going to stay together. They're about to go through therapy. He's probably going to buy her some nice to say he's sorry, as he should, but I'm married, Kurt, you married. I don't think I ever would put my hands on my wife, no matter how things get crazy. The only time I've ever considered, and I've kind of, like, not say consider putting my hands on, but I know one situation where I will consider is if someone else would get hurt in the process. Like if my kids would get hurt, you know what I mean? For some reason, I don't know, your spouse is in a blind rage, drunk or something crazy, right? Driving crazy or something, right? Belligerent. You never know. People can act out crazy in the future. Not saying my family will do that, but I would say that's the only time it's justified. Put hands on somebody to prevent someone else from getting hurt that can't defend themselves. You know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah. I think it's a wild situation. DV is always a rough subject to talk about. People always walking on eggshells. But I do agree with the fact that, hey, I don't know what he said to her, or none of us do. Like, only they know. So for him to turn her, or for her to slap him, it must have been something egregious. So, and his reaction, now granted, he's drunk. He's not in his right mind state. Yeah. So he probably just got slapped and realized, hey, I got hit. Let me hit back. And then after the fact, oh wow, he probably knew it was his wife, but he just responded to a hit. But I won't put my hands on my wife. My wife have to do something completely crazy for me even to touch her. Yeah, so, but women in general, so.
It would be under the pretext that, like, she's threatening you, right? Or you feel like she's coming at you with a knife, or you feel like something's gonna happen where someone will get hurt if you don't intervene physically, right? Sometimes you can't just walk away. But I don't think this situation warranted that type of response. Obviously, he's much bigger than his wife. He's a martial artist. He could probably kill many people, even myself, quickly if he wanted to, right? But the thing is, at some point I wonder, and I'm looking at myself with spaceships around me, at some point I wonder, like, when does a person gauge the situation? Like, for instance, if a person goes up and sees a person, like, let's say you, Kevin, you got more size than me, and you probably stronger than me in some standpoint, you could probably knock me out. But if I come up to you and try to pick a fight with you and I lose that fight, should I turn around and say, he shouldn't have hit me back after I punched him and it didn't phase him? You know what I mean? Between us two men, you can be like, no, why the hell did you go up to Kevin and fight this big, strong, Smokey the Bear, grizzly looking ass dude? You know what I mean? Oh, you think because you Asian, you know martial arts or something? They done told you wrong. Or like Dex. Or the Dex would have come step up to me and try to swing on me. That'd be the mistake of a lifetime.
Man, I'm like, show you right. Because here's the thing. I don't know the background story of Dana White's wife. But like we said, Dana White himself is a trained fighter. He's a public figure. And I'm pretty sure the UFC has bylaws in it to where if fighters get into domestic violence disputes or things of that nature, they're probably going to get suspended for such a long period of time, probably get fines, things of that nature. So with him being the CEO, with like the founder of the company, he has to lead by example.
Probably so. Yeah, but he was drunk. He was drunk, bro. I mean, blame it on the alcohol.
But I'm like, he was drunk, but it wasn't like he was drugged. It was his choice to go in and input those drinks. So whatever happens after he take those drinks, they're still fully on him. Like, the situation that happened, but hey, don't drink then.
I agree. I agree. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Kurt White done left us. Probably went to go, apologize. To all the people out there, I'm just kidding. Kurt White done left us. It's all good. We're gonna call here, wrap it up the show. I'll edit this later. So let me go ahead, everybody know. All right, Dex, I gave you the last word last time. Kevin, what's the last word for you? What are your New Year's resolutions? I'll start with you.
Man, my New Year's resolutions, tried and true. Go ahead and get a little bit healthier. Going to adjust my level of alcohol intake. So we're gonna have that, and we're gonna be watching the scale. So I'm gonna put in some goals and some metrics for me to lose a certain amount of pounds throughout the year.
What about you, Dex? You got any goals for the year?
I ain't really got none really. So, my goals are just tried and true and simple. Running over here, trying to be a black man running a farm and get some cows going. So that's the only goal I got, is making sure I'm running a business the right way as the first time as running a true black-owned farming business.
You got to let us know when the farm is up. You're going to be one of the first black cattle ranchers of Memphis. I think the name of your ranch going to be called what? Memphis Main Beef? Ain't that what it is? Beef Mine?
No. The name of the company is Hidden Fields Ranch, but maybe when we sell it, I might use something you come up with. I mean, you came up with my name, Sanitation. So, I might let you do your thing with your creativity and come up with something like that.
Yeah, as long as I get those Rocky Mountain oysters first, I got dibs. All right, Kurt, what about your New Year's resolution? We're going to call it a day.
Only really goal I have for this year is, get my kid ready for school, like he's in daycare now, daycare is ridiculously expensive. So if we can get him like school ready, that'd be great, because if I have to pay a whole other year of $1,300 a month, I'm gonna lose it. So, but yeah, that's the only thing I got plans, like getting him ready for kindergarten, man. So outside of that, yeah, nothing really.
All right.
What about you, Drama?
My New Year's resolutions is simple. Stop being so fat. Keep stacking up this paper. Keep talking to y'all more often, because y'all some cool cats. And overall, zipping it up and pulling it out.
Zippity doo dah.
Zippity doo dah, y'all.
Oh, and before we head out, still sending prayers up for Gangsta Boo's family.
Oh, yeah.
Like, heard about that tragedy.
Yeah, Memphis legend, gone too soon. I definitely was listening to her album all day today. Both
put that on repeat.
69.
Put that on repeat, baby. All right, man. All right, peace out, y'all. Oh!